All right, everybody, talking about using novelty for foreplay on today's episode. I'm your Libido Doc, Dr. Diane, and this is such a fun topic because one thing that happens a lot in long-term partnerships, oftentimes I even see this happen starting 6 months in, but definitely, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and certainly by the time we reach 10, 20, 30 years, it's so common for a lot of that foreplay to fall off. And one of the things I think a lot of people forget about is foreplay is not that thing that is done 5 minutes right before the main act, right? Foreplay really involves everything that it happens from the time we finish sex or our intimate act all the way until the time when we start again. Right? And so there's so many things that can get wrapped into foreplay. And of course we have life. Of course people have kids and families and jobs and obligations. So it's not like we're sitting around just doing foreplay all day long. But foreplay is really wrapped up with flirtation and desire. And remember, the focus of this month is how to get back some of those feelings that we have early on in relationship, that desire, that longing, that thinking about that person, that dopamine. And where is that position? Because I know with a lot of people I coach, it's like, well, they want that, but they also don't want that other thing that happens sometimes in the beginning of relationships, which is like, gosh, I just want to focus and this person just keeps coming in my mind and I have to focus right now. So, from a standpoint of keeping things hot and sexy, it's really what I find is like a both and that's what can happen in long-term relationships is we have enough of that foundation there, that trust, that whole sense in the beginning of a relationship where we're not sure if they're going to call, we're not sure if they're going to be there, are we going to see each other again? By the time we're reaching a long-term relationship, there's that stability, right? That foundation. So that can help with like that almost like obsessive nature of that early stages of falling in love. And that being said, what we're looking to do here is finding how do we at least get back some of that desire, some of that longing for the other person, some of that like really that huge amount of passion. And this is where I really encourage you to change your orientation of foreplay, not just being in that, that 5 minutes before the big act, but foreplay being how are you flirting with your partner? Right? And sometimes in long-term relationships, it can feel so awkward because we can forget how to flirt, right? We can forget how to flirt with our partner. We can forget in some ways how to flirt at all. Other people I see have no problem with that, but it goes across the spectrum. So when we're looking at novelty, it provides a really easy and natural way to start foreplay early and to start flirting early. So this is where, going back and scheduling your sex dates, at least try to schedule, at least I encourage you for a super connected self sex life, have sex dates at least once a week. And, more is amazing, but at least once a week is usually an amount that really busy couples with families and jobs can fit in. And so when we schedule these occasionally, my recommendation is a minimum of once a month, throw in something novel, right? And when you're throwing in that novel thing, think about what it is. Think about what you want to try, what fantasies you have. Go back and listen to the other videos from this month on novelty. And when you do that, intentionally set like, oh, this is the thing we're going to try. Do we need to go to a store and buy anything? Do we need to get a new book? Do we need to get a new outfit? Do I just need to think about like where this act is going to happen? And whatever you decide, allow yourself to fantasize and send flirty texts and talk about it here and there, at night in bed when the kids are asleep or the job and the work is done. The idea with this is all foreplay, right? It's the words we say, it's the pictures we send, it's the way we touch our lovers back when they're doing the dishes, right? All of this is foreplay. And so the more we can engage day to day with this sort of foreplay, the more that longing starts happening, right? It wakes something back up. And this so happens too, I see so many times, and people when they break up, it's a really common thing for people when they break up to talk to me and say something like, well, my libido was dead. I thought I didn't have a libido anymore. And then we broke up and I started having, seeing other people, and all of a sudden my libido's back. So what is that? There's a lot to be said about what that is, more than we'll go into in this video, because that's really a whole entire course we could talk about on that. But the idea in part is what happens is we get so used to the monotony, the same day in and the same day out, our senses are almost dulled. Our brain chemistry is dulled. And then when we get out and it's like we're in this world again of excitement and newness, all that chemistry wakes up and it's like, oh, I actually have a libido. So we want to, hopefully if you're interested in continuing your relationship with your partner and it's a healthy, generally healthy relationship, then ideally we want to work on this inside of the relationship and say, okay, well, how can I still have that surge and that charge? And that's what we're focused on this month again, is this. So I hope this has been helpful. Please do subscribe to this channel. We'll have lots more information coming out like this. Thanks again for your support and for telling your friends about this channel. I'm Dr. Diane. See you in the next video.